Hello, Episcopal Homes, friends, and community members. I'm Chaplain Leah, and it's good to be with you for our Good Morning with Spiritual Life segment for Tuesday, September 1st, if you can believe that it's September. I'm having a little trouble believing it myself. September is World Alzheimer's and Dementia Month. So, what I wanted to share today, since we're at the very start of that month, is a couple of website resources and a couple of personal stories from people that have dementia themselves and have written about their experience and shared it online. So that's what's in store for us for our time together this morning. The first thing that I will share is a resource that may already be familiar to a lot of people, and it's very well known, and they have a lot of information on their website and encouragement and resources, all sorts of things, and that's the Alzheimer's Association. If you want to check out their website, you can go to alz.org. What I am going to read a couple accounts from this morning is a different website, and it is one that is more based in Australia and New Zealand, but it has people's experiences and accounts that they have written about having dementia from all over the world. It is called Dementia Alliance International. If you are interested in what you hear that I'm about to share, you can find it at dementiaallianceinternational.org. And so I will share a couple of things from that website, and then I'll repeat that information if you do want to be able to access it. So these are accounts written by two different people who have dementia themselves, and there is a series on the Dementia Alliance International website that's called Hello, My Name Is. And it is a blog series, but most of the blogs are videos, so I guess they might be called vlogs. And so if it's something that you want to dig into further, you can look for the Hello, My Name Is series, and there's plenty of videos to watch on that site that are from personal accounts of people who are living with dementia. And there's really quite a range of people's experiences and feelings and journeys or growth throughout the time that since they've been diagnosed and have been living with dementia. There are people we'll find in one of the accounts that I'll read today of someone who has shifted her opinion of her own diagnosis over time. So the first one that I want to share is by a woman named Dr. Jennifer Butte, B-U-T-E. And hers is titled Dementia as a Gift. The website opens up with a little introduction about her and says, not everyone sees dementia as a gift, but it is wonderful when we can see the positives and the gifts it can provide, alongside the negatives and difficulties it most definitely presents. So these are Dr. Jennifer Butte's words. When I was working in Africa, I was given a pot by a grateful patient, and I sent it back to the UK by post. How daft can you be? And that was before my diagnosis of dementia. When it arrived, it was in pieces, and it was suggested it should be quietly put away in the bin. However, I loved doing jigsaws, and so with my obstinate nature, I put it together again. and I think it is far more beautiful now than it was before. A gift that is now far more precious than if it had not been broken. In the same way, I think that living with dementia has enriched my life. I am so grateful for now being able to understand dementia from the inside, so different to what I learned when my father had dementia or when I was working as a doctor. I remember the difference it made to patients when suffering a stroke changed from passive waiting to active intervention with amazing results, and I think we need to facilitate the same for dementia. I loved evidence-based medicine and was passionate about inspiring others to have best practice. So now I am passionate about best practice for dementia, and I believe we can improve things and definitely slow down or even reverse some of the deterioration. I love to encourage others to be positive about what we cannot undo, but that we can certainly rebuild our lives. Even if we have, quote, damaged brains, we are still of immense worth and value, and I have no intention of being put away. I have the privilege of living in a dementia-friendly village, and have gotten to know others who also walk this path. I am always learning from them, listening to their stories, and finding what helps to enable them to remain as independent as possible, rather than just letting them give up, thinking nothing can be done. It might take some effort, but it is worth it. I am so grateful to have opportunities to get to know others nationally and also internationally who are living with dementia, who also encourage me and enrich my life. As I get to know these people, I see how beautiful they are because the quote damage has brought out such potential to change things for the better. Together, we seek to repair society's attitudes to us by showing that we are still real people with something to say. We can also encourage professionals to listen to those of us living with dementia who assume they know more about it than we do. Every time I look at my clay pot, I am grateful for what happened to it. In the same way, I am grateful that I have dementia and can now use my medical training and my past professional standing for something so worthwhile. Those are words by Dr. Jennifer Butte, as found on the Dementia Alliance International website. Her story about living with dementia definitely had a positive tone to it, but I know that not everyone experiences it that way. Those who have dementia and those who have loved ones with dementia. Some look at it in a positive light, similar to Jennifer Butte, and others look at it as a more difficult diagnosis and the many challenges that it contains. I don't think one or the other is the right way. I think that each person and each loved one will have their own experience with it. And the idea is to be a supportive community to one another as people go through those experiences. And so, in order to share something that's a bit on the other end of the spectrum of feelings about having dementia, I'm going to share another personal account that is by one of the co-founders of Dementia Alliance International, someone who started up that blog with people giving their personal accounts. And her name is Kate Swaffer. She wrote an article early on in her diagnosis that she titled Dementia, My New World. Dementia is an uninvited visitor to my world, an unwelcome early 50th birthday present, one where the old me seems to be rapidly moving away to a new me. I am being dragged along on this journey with no way to get back home, as it races along like an express train without brakes. I read, then I forget. I read, I take notes, and then I forget. I read, I highlight and take notes, and I still forget. That photographic memory I once had is gone, dead and fully buried. My high-functioning mind has slipped away, sometimes showing itself like a ghost, teasing me into believing it will be okay, but just outside my reach. Words now have no meaning, and whole patches of my memory are disappearing. The mountain I am climbing is finite, but even if I get to the top, there will be no grand planting of my flag, nor will I have remembered the climb. And when I come down, I won't remember having been there. Some of my friends inform me I am not aphasic, that I am not remembering any less well than they do, that their world is the same as mine. They say I am getting old, and this is what it is like, so get used to it. I ask myself, what would they know? They are wrong. It is different. It is insidiously depriving me of a normal existence, and is very humiliating and awkward to live with, stealing my soul and threatening my very existence. It makes me nervous to go out. Every day now feels like a brand new one, except that my body feels very old and tired. I realize that writing about my dementia is not an option, and that no matter how long it takes to make it legible and worthwhile to read, it is important to the management of this disease. It is possibly the only form of therapy that will ease my stress and tears. Most days are now an effort not just to sit in a corner and cry, not to just give up or to give in to it. It requires a great amount of emotional effort to live a quote normal existence, and is truly the most demeaning and frightening experience I have had, with a feeling of wretchedness I have not felt before. This new place is full of hidden and impending madness, full of people already whispering behind closed doors away from my ears, trying to plan for my demise and how I and they will cope. They provide words of comfort and gentle pats on my back, meaning well, but never realizing it usually makes me feel as like a leper, as if I am to be pitied. They are the ones who will eventually have the challenges of coping, as I will be lost in a world of inhibition and supposed joyfulness, locked out of the reality of the world and its occupants. And so, I keep asking myself, am I to be the lucky one in this strange place called dementia? Perhaps so. Those are words from Kate Swaffer, one of the co-founders of the Dementia Alliance International, and very poignant and quite sad words about her own experience with dementia. She does write further about her experience as time goes on. Those original words that of hers that I just read were written in 2008. 10 years later, in 2018, she wrote another blog post, and it was featured on someone else's website. That's another website that I'll highlight today, which is called Dallas the Dancing Dementia Dude. I thought that that was just quite an intriguing title, and it turns out that he has also written a book, so that might be a website that you might like to check out. But Kate Swaffer was featured on his website 10 years after she wrote those difficult words about her experience, and she titled this blog post, "Would I Want My Old Life Back?" She says that she had written a poem saying, "I wanted my old pre-dementia life back. I was either having a really bad day or was more sleep deprived than usual. My life is so much richer, since having been diagnosed with dementia, and it has been my third greatest gift in my life. One of my newer friends, Dallas the Dancing Dude, aka Danger Presley, agrees with me, and he prefers his new life with dementia than without it. We talked today about people without dementia who seem and act, quote, crazier than people with dementia, and they don't have a medical excuse. Even the tough days are worth it. Yes, even on the days when I can't work out how to make a coffee or cannot get dressed easily. Yes, even on the days I forget faces and names, get lost, or find at least 5 cups of ginger tea, all cold, in strange places around the house. Seriously, I do feel the gifts of dementia more than make up for the losses and sadness. I now know with certainty who my true friends are. I have made a whole bunch of incredible, amazing, and fabulous new global friends, my Dementia Alliance International family. I now know with real clarity what is important to me. In spite of the ever-increasing loss of clarity, I have a new sense of clarity about life that I did not have before. My life was turned upside down again, and I found new ways to get back up again. I am stronger and more resilient. I am better at not stressing over the small stuff. Although mostly unpaid, the work I do makes a difference. I became a regular blogger. For some years, it was almost daily. I've written 2 books and 3 poetry books, something I'm almost certain I would never have been brave enough to do without becoming a blogger, which would not have happened without dementia. Continuing on with the list. Life has more meaning. Dementia has brought me out of the shadows. Dementia has taught me how to be a lion. These were words from Kate Swaffer, and we can see in her own writings the vast range of emotion that she has about her own experience with dementia. And so these are the things I wanted to lift up on this first day of World Alzheimer's and Dementia Month, the month of September. And the place where you can find those writings is the Dementia Alliance International website, which is dementiaallianceinternational.org. And if you look for the section called Hello, My Name Is, you'll be able to see some writings and also some videos about people living with dementia in their own words. As we can see from the writings, there really is, there are positive ways to look at dementia, and there are also extremely challenging parts to it, and an almost universal experience to being diagnosed with dementia or having a loved one with dementia is some form of grief. One of the books that I think has a lot of great materials and resources in it is this one, Caring for a Loved One with Dementia. It's a mindfulness-based approach to dementia, and particularly in caregiving for someone you love with dementia. But the book has a lot of great practices in it, and also just practical information and advice. So I will share just a little piece out of this book to close us out for our time today. And this is a section in this mindfulness book called Being with Grief. It says, grief is an omnipresent part of the dementia journey. It also represents one of the greatest challenges faced by both caregivers and persons with dementia. So in this book, I'm going to be reading from pages 42 and 43, and it is some learnings from the Zen Hospice, which is a separate organization, but also something really worth checking out. And lots of writings have come out of that Zen Hospice project. But what the author says, and I should say the author's name is Marguerite Manteau Rao, caring for a loved one with dementia. She says, Zen Hospice Project has taught me quite a few things about grief, including the following list of principles. These principles are not just good for hospice volunteers. They can also help you hold your dementia grief in a mindful, loving way that will benefit both you as a caregiver and a person living with dementia. Number one, welcome everything. Push away nothing. With mindfulness, learn to be open to whatever the present brings, including pleasant and unpleasant moments. Number two, bring your whole self to the experience. We tend to think our way through life. Mindfulness is about shifting to a broader mode of experiencing, using all our senses. You learn to include physical sensations and emotions, as well as thoughts, in your awareness. Number three, don't wait. There is no moment other than this moment. The past is gone, and the future does not yet exist. Mindfulness calls you to live this moment fully. Don't wait is also an invitation to live each moment without regret. Number four, find a place of rest in the middle of things. With practice, you come to see mindfulness as a place of rest, always available to you. In mindfulness, you can choose to unhinge from distressing thoughts and rest in each breath instead. Number five, cultivate don't know mind. Approach each moment with a beginner's mind. Let go of ideas of how you are supposed to think and feel about your experience. Instead, make room for what is and the possibility of surprise. All these precepts are interconnected. You may find that you resonate with one more than the others, or you may also let them speak to you in your own words. So those are just a few highlights in thinking about Alzheimer's and dementia as we enter this September 2020, which is World Alzheimer's and Dementia Month. If you have feedback, if you are a person living with dementia and you'd like to share your own experience, either by video or writing, please reach out and let me know, and we'll arrange for that. If you're caregiving for someone with dementia and you either need support or you want to be able to share your experience, please reach out as well. And we will honor this September as Alzheimer's and Dementia Month. Well, until next time, friends, be well. Bye for now.